Adam says, what do you think about this WWE ID thing? That was actually something I was going to talk about tonight, but we could talk about it now. I do not mind talking about it now. So WWE ID let's call it WWE ID. WWE ID. So basically, with WWE ID, good Lord, if I were 20 years younger, I would have been all over that. I briefly trained to be a professional wrestler when I was 18 years old for like 3 months. And then I got dropped on my head. Didn't want to do it anymore. I had an owie. It's like, this isn't for me. It's supposed to be fake. Didn't really help that I had a pretty inept trainer also. The wrestling school. I would have been all over this thing. So basically the concept of it is there's a network of wrestling promotions around the country that are officially endorsed by WWE, and they get resources, special acts, and the wrestlers have special access to WWE. Basically, they're sending WWE video footage, and rather than filing it right in the trash the way they do everyone else, they're actually going to look at it. That's how I assume it's going to go. But it's pretty cool. Now, I'll tell you, the wrestling business is really saturated as it is. Between TNA, AEW, WWE, including NXT. There are so many people in the wrestling business right now. It's a good thing there's three major promotions for them to go to, but I don't know. It's going to be hard when you have all those WWE affiliated schools. It's going to be really hard to stand out. But I can see why they're doing it, and it's almost a throwback to the way it was back in the old days. Back in the old days, back in the olden times, WWF, or not really WWF, but other. Well, yeah, I guess WWF did to a certain degree. They had several promotions which were kind of relics that were left over from the territory days that they looked at for developmental purposes. And they pulled from promotions such as Smoky Mountain Wrestling. There was a few other ones also. And that was before they consolidated down to just one with OVW, and then Florida Championship Wrestling, which evolved into NXT. But NXT is blown up to the point where it's a third brand. And the stars on that brand are being presented at the same level as that of Raw or SmackDown stars. The lines are so blurred nowadays. So that's really not a developmental territory anymore, developmental brand. That's where you go to get your very first TV exposure, and then you elevate to Raw and or SmackDown. I like the concept, but it's going to produce a lot of talent. And it'll be interesting to see if there's actually room for that talent. Great question, though.